Hi, my name is Erica Baker, and this is the project for the Diversity Book Review. My first book review I chose to be The Keeping Quilt by Patricia Polacco. This is about a family that comes to America and they settle in New York. They're actually indeed from Russia. As you can tell, the title page or the front cover of the book is being shown right now, where you can actually see the quilt and why you can refer the title back to the book. Here you see Anna's babushka, or babushka, if I should say that. That is her grandmother. So notice how she's interacting with her grandmother. And notice that the colors on this page are directly focusing on the quilt itself. This quilt was created when they came to America so that they would not forget their past traditions from Russia. What happened was they got together a group in their neighborhood, and the ladies took old clothing from Anna's grandmother, which is her babushka, her uncle, some of her aunts, and they took this clothing and made these animals and other symbols on this quilt so that they would be able to remember their hometown. In this image that I'm showing you now, this is a great visual to look at the actual quilt, and this would be a good picture to show the children as you do a project or assignment so that they can relate back to some of maybe the religion or customs or traditions in which we are asking them to recall. A great hands-on project to do with this would be to allow them to kind of somewhat create a classroom quilt maybe, or a classroom family quilt, or a classroom tradition quilt. I think it's very neat. We've actually created one of these in my class the past 2 years, and students seem to love it. They begin to relate their traditions to other students' traditions based on their religion, customs, backgrounds, race, ethnical, all of the above. So they learn to make friends with those that may be outside of their comfort zone. And I think it's really encouraging to share these multicultural books that have diversity and challenge these kids to really reach out to one another. The way I would start out with a hands-on project for the book, The Keeping Quilt by Patricia Polacco, would be I would let the children view the book, maybe do a picture walk through the book first with them, maybe as a whole group. Or also you could, have the images visual to them and do kind of a walk-through visual picture walk. However, what I like to do a lot of times is have them to brainstorm with me. So in other words, I do, and then I would have them you do. And that could be you do independently, or that could be you do with your peer partner, or that could be you do with your compass partner. However you do your partnering strategies. And then at the end, we would do a overall we do, sharing everyone's traditions that they had come up with. And that way that would open some of the other gateways to the students who maybe just didn't think that way or needed better connection to know what I was actually asking for as the role model. So I love that kids learn best from one another as the teacher acts as the facilitator through this project. So basically what they would do is use their notes as we watch through the I do, you do, we do, and they would take those traditions and customs that they had come up with to create an actual visual of what they would like to represent themselves and their families on our classroom quilt. As I stated earlier, the basic underlying theme of this story is about traditions, family, and love, and caring for one another, accepting one another. So this is a great book that should be shared in schools. I teach 4th grade, and the 4th graders actually enjoy the book and understand what it's talking about. I don't know that I would take this much lower than maybe a 2nd grade level, just because the babushka and trying to understand some of the language that is used in this book may be over some of these other students' heads. However, talking about how this is a story or tradition passed on from one generation to the next, and it goes through 4 generations in this actual picture book, that is neat for students to even be able to connect to. So this is a great book for you to use in your classroom. I would say this could go maybe second through sixth grade at least. And really having those older kids kind of challenge them to break it down, maybe have them add some um, text with their visual when you create that classroom quilt.